Hi guys, today is the day. I present to you my custom wonder set. I already have printed it out. I have this played and I'm super excited to show you guys. We have 7 sides, so 7 boards, so that's 14 sides, and there will be one special new board that I haven't shown before. So super excited about that. Let's join me here and discuss all of them. Just before we start, I want to talk about 3 of my design goals. The first goal is that the set needs to be playable with just the base game. We are using diplomacy and debt tokens from Cities expansion, but you can easily supplement them with other stuff that you have lying around. You do not have to have Cities expansion. The second one is that the power level is below Halicarnassus B and above Olympia B in the new edition. So hopefully all the sides match that. My aim was Ephesus B. I think that's the side that nobody complains about, but everybody is happy to play. Hopefully I matched those. And the third one is that players have choices between the sides, so hopefully both of the sides have some incentive to play them, and they have choice for strategy. They're not just, when receiving this wonder, you have to play like that, or else you are bust. They can do some other stuff and experiment with different strategies. And the last thing I want to talk about is my thematic goal. I wanted to have wonders from all over the world, so people from different parts of the world can feel that they are included in the set. And that's it. Let's look at the first side. The first one that we'll talk about here is Agra, so this is obviously Taj Mahal, as you can see. This is a slow start, I would say. This is like the basics wonder that we will start with. So Agra is fairly simple. The second ability gives you 2 gold when built for every unbuilt stage by you and your neighbors. So this can be a lot of gold, but it can be also as low as 6 gold, for example. This is comparable to Ephesus A, or comparable maybe to Giza A a little bit. This is a little mix between them. So let's look at side 2, which is much more comparable to Giza B here. As you can see, there is a lot of points to be gained, 17 plus 2 points for every unbuilt stage and the end of the game. So my idea for this side was punishment for the all-in on greens. Like if you have, for example, Alexandria A, who will just all-in on the green when playing this side, this can be 23 points, which is quite a lot, and the resources are quite balanced. You do not need too much of anything. You can just have very nice balanced resources. The Caravanserai and the Forum are excellent for this wonder as well. So this is like a choice between Ephesus A and Giza B. They are maybe a little bit lower on power, but whenever you get this wonder, you get a powerful choice. And I thought this is an interesting one, and this is very newbie friendly. The abilities are really easy, and this is, you know, just a stable, solid wonder. I know a lot of players enjoy, especially going yellow on Giza B. So for Agra B, going yellow is even better. So I hope you enjoy this one. The second one that we'll talk about is New York, and New York is my attempt to please everyone who loves a blue strategy. I know there is a lot of you that really enjoy going for blues, and blues always seem like a fun strat. You know, just kind of like a weenie, get the points, and then, you know, try to survive the third age. But there is no wonder currently that gives great payoffs for that. The best to play is probably still Giza B. And this one, you know, gets you a huge payoff. If you get like 8 blues, which can be done, you get a huge payoff. Of course, you sacrifice other opportunities, but in some player games it can be really, really nice. So this is my attempt. This is also, you know, set up so you can actually play those blues. Blue-green is also excellent, so I hope you enjoy this side as well. And on the B side, this is a little bit more of an economic side here. New York on the B side, the first ability is you can double one of your brown or gray resources. And the second one, you can there is still like a blue thingy, but it's much less obvious, and you do not actually need to go for blues. You can also profit of your opponents going for the blues. The third one is a little bit weaker than usual, but you can still get excellent points here. And this is New York because New York is like Big Apple is a very famous city for a lot of civic opportunities, a lot of culture. So I thought that blue theme really suits the city and the New York and the Statue of Liberty. Next one that we'll take a look at is Timbuktu. This is a clay city in Mali, which was a center of trade sometimes in the past, in the history. Really cool. I really enjoyed reading about it. So I thought, I had to make a trading wonder because I know a lot of people actually miss Olympia B from the first edition in the new edition. And this is my attempt at a trading wonder. The second stage lets you trade with anyone across the table. So you can buy for one from anyone, whoever you want. And at first it started as a one-time ability, so you could trade with each player only once. But it was not powerful enough, and I think this ability, and I tested this actually quite a lot, this ability is powerful enough, but it's also not too powerful. But it gives you great flexibility, especially in multiplayer games. And I think a lot of you will enjoy this, this stability and flexibility. And on the B side, I decided to completely flip it on its head. And this one lets everyone else trade to you for 1 gold. And at this time, it is a one-time ability for each of your opponents. And this creates a lot of, obviously, the main goal here was to design an ability that will be bad for you. I thought this as an experiment. It started as an experiment when I thought this ability will just be bad for you, maybe good for your neighbors, as seen here, and then we'll recompensate with the stage 2 and stage 3. So for stage 1, everyone can trade to you, which is obviously good for them, but it's also a little bit good to you because you get the gold as well, so it's not all that bad. For the second ability, you just get 1 point for every basic color in the game, so up to 7 points, but it's very unlikely. Usually it will end up in 5-6 point range. And the last one gives you huge points, 9 gold, City of Clay, so free clay, 9 points. Tell me what you think about this one. And then we move to Moscow, Red Square, Kremlin, and the church here of Saint Basil, I think. With Moscow, I decided to tackle one of the main ways of winning the game, so going for the red. Red is not a strategy that can win by itself, but it's one of the main strategies in the game, especially for lower player counts, so for 3 and 4 player, which is the most played competitive variants. And this one is a little bit my play on the red and my play on Rhodos A. So the first one and the second one gives you points, this is a 3 and 5 points, but in a different way. You get 4 and 6 and a loss token. So it's the same, but you just get loss tokens. And the last one gives you shield for every loss token. So at worst, it's 2 shield, but if you are clever with it, it can be more shields. And Moscow prevents, it can play as a red wonder, just kind of like Rhodos A, just easier resources, much easier resources compared to Rhodos A. But it can also play completely ignoring red and just threatening the last red, or it can play completely ignoring red and capitalizing on the last red, or even doing half red strategies and all that stuff. So it's very flexible, and I think you'll enjoy the flexibility when you play with it. The B side, on the other hand, the flavor of the A side is do not attack Moscow. Whenever Moscow was attacked in history, either by Germany in the Second World War or Napoleon before that, I think it ended really poorly for them. So this is the flavor of the side. And on the second side, the flavor is Cold War. between the USSR and the USA after the Second World War. So the first side is one of the best sides that you can have, like a shield, point, and a coin. The second one is pretty good as well, just, you know, straight good points. But the third one is when the fun starts. You get 2 diplomacy tokens from the city's expansion, so you will not participate in the next 2 wars, which means usually you will not participate in wars until the end of the game. But you get 2 points for every shield that you have. And that includes the shield from the first stage. So 2 points for every shield sounds, you know, excellent, but you have to remember that those shields won't give you any war victories anymore. There is an interesting dynamic where you usually have a lot of shields when you play that already. So you suddenly not only resign from the points, but if you are playing more than 3 players, you also give points to one of the players who has more red than your neighbor. Like one of your neighbors is beating the other neighbor suddenly. And it means that you are also very flexible in the third age, because every red suddenly is 6 points, which is very good for just random third age card. So a lot of fun to be had with Moscow. That's my take on red. And the next one that we'll talk about is Oxford. This is my play on the green. And let me quickly explain this astrolabe symbol that you can see on the second stage. So astrolabe is just a 4th symbol. It can be like part of the set. And my idea behind this is to, you know, give a green support without making full green better. And like when you count the points for the greens with like multiple sets containing this, you'll find that it's just a little, like it's the same when you have one set, 3 green, but it's worse if you have like 3 sets of green, which is usually what's a big payoff in 7 Wonders game. Second stage gives also 3 coins, so this is obviously a little bit similar to Babylon A. So this is my idea how to make it a little bit better, because right now it's outshined by Babylon B. And you know, just giving coins, giving some economy, giving some direction, lowering some of the resource costs for the side, I think you'll find this one a little better and more enjoyable to play. But again, as usual, the magic happens on the B side. So as you can see on the second stage, we have 2 astrolabe symbols on one stage, which is quite insane. And the first stage is 6 points if you just have first stage, or 2 points if you have both of the stages. And here my idea was to, you know, have a side where you have strong payoff, but it's still balanced. And another goal for this Oxford was to give players flexibility. Like, as you can see, probably I'm all about flexibility and letting players choose what they can do instead of, you know, shoehorning them into just one thing. And this one, for Oxford, I wanted to achieve 3 things. First, you have to be able to play with one, or like just collecting one set. And this is what the Oxford A side does. If you want 1 or even 2 sets, Oxford A is just, you know, so enjoyable to play with that. Then, going heavier into green. As I said before, astrolabes not the best when combined with super crazy amount of green, but good for some amount of green. On Oxford B, 2 sets is probably the way to go, or maybe even 3 sets. It's a little worse, but it will still be very good. So this is what Oxford B does. And the third one was have a green wonder that can also not care about the green. Like, you probably have those games with Babylon B where there's just no opportunity for green, but you're still in green, so you're still just splashing some green or not splashing and then regretting it. Here on Oxford B, you can just say, I'm just playing the first stage, I do not care about my 2 astrolabes here, I just can play first stage and I can be happy with that. And that was my goal, and from my playtesting, I think it was achieved. And now we go into a little bit more advanced wonders. This maybe the third ability looks scary, but it's actually really simple. You pick 2 colors that you have in your tableau, and for each pair of those colors you score 2 points. For example, 4 brown and 3 red is 6 points. So Paris cares about sets. This is what museum does, this is what Louvre does, this is what you want to be collecting. Let's just quickly look at the B-side. B-side has a little bit flexibility on the second stage, but first stage you pick 3 colors and you score 3 points for each. So 4 yellow, 4 brown, 4 red, that would be 12 points. On both of those sides you cannot pick blue as a color, nor on A nor on B, just for balance reasons. But this is a side that you kind of have a lot more strategic approach to the game. You just like plan what colors you want to go for. Usually it will be brown and red, but it can be something super, super surprising. Here you can play for red-green, for example. This is a real strategy. You can also play for brown-gray sometimes, and something, especially on this side, would just do like a Guildmaster type approach. There is just a lot of flexibility. Again, I will probably repeat flexibility too much during this video, and if anyone is doing a drinking game for me saying flexibility, I'm sorry about that. You are probably drunk already. So this side, collecting sets, museum flavor. Just this was my approach to trying some design space in the Seven Wonders. Now we'll take a look at the last one from this set, but not the last one in the video. So this is Rio de Janeiro, this is Statue of Christ the Redeemer, and the flavor for this side is giving something to your opponent, but taking something from them, or just like punishing them. So this side, on the first and the third one, you get some points, but you also gift coins to your neighbors. So they have a stronger economy, they have more ways to play, ways to also pay you for resources. On the second side is something that a lot of people find controversial, but they have to give you a card from their tableau to your tableau. There are some, rare cases where they cannot play the card or stuff like that, but I cover them all in the rules that you can find in the description. But the important part is if they play like a tavern or vineyard or bazaar, they still keep the money if they give it to you, and you get the money when they give it to your tableau. This is a side that when I initially sent it to a lot of players that I know, some of them are like family level Seven Wonders players, some of them are like really hardcore players from our Discord, like for example Iguana. There was a very mixed response. The family of our players thought that this site is OP, and the costs were a little different. But the top players thought that the site is actually a little bit weak. What you need to realize is that you actually, with this, when you are the neighbor of Rio de Janeiro, you actually just destroy one of your cards for 4 gold, but you actually get the gold first, which is not that bad, and it's actually not that bad to be the neighbor of Rio de Janeiro. And there is a lot of different things. Because they do not lose the money for the tavern, they usually want to grab the tavern so they can give you the tavern, so they do not lose anything, they just have the positives. Sometimes they want to give you cloth, but if they give you cloth, you get the money for the cloth that they will buy from you in the third age. There's just a lot of stuff. You have to play with it to really understand how it works. But I'm super excited about this one. I thought this was really, really something unique, but at the same time balanced for all the player counts. And let's look at the B side. I think this one is maybe a little more powerful even. So the theme for this one is turning the other cheek. So let's explain the first stage first. Third stage, you can discard one of the lost tokens and get 5-point victory token for that. So you're turning the other cheek. And for the first wonder, you still give 2 coins, but on the second side, they gain a debt token. They are trading 2 gold for 1 point, which is a trade that, like at the start of the game, I would take that trade probably twice if I could. At the start of almost any game in Seven Wonders. So that's actually pretty good to your neighbors. And this is the last surprise wonder that you will see. This is Pythia. So this is Delphi, the Oracle of Delphi. And let me just explain what it does. So you can see the eye icon. The eye icon means that you can look from your hand in the future, like from the first of H2 or first of H3, whenever you build it. So, you know, you are the oracle, you can see the future, you can like see if you will have red, if you will have green, what you should go for, and stuff like that. In the first one, you can look at H3 immediately if you want. For example, if you are building this at the end of H1, when the hand from H2 doesn't matter to you. And the last one gives you 1 point for every chain. So you are rewarded, like you have the ability to play smart with the chains because you know what will come to you, and you are rewarded for doing that as well. But as usual, the crazy things happens on the B side. So first, let me explain what is the resource that you have. Expansion to 7 wonders, like the wonders expansion, there are usually 3 ways. There is a brown resource, there is a gray resource, or there is 4 gold. So this is 4 gold in a different way. This is 2 gold for you and 1 gold to each of your neighbors. And they are paying that 1 gold because they want to see the prediction of the future. And prediction of the future here is showing all the guilds that will be shuffled in the deck. So with this expansion, when you are playing with the base game, you know all the cards. The pool is known like 100%. So everybody can prepare and everyone can play accordingly with the resources, with the strategies and stuff like that and stuff like that. And why this is 4 gold in a different way? Usually in 7 wonders, everybody else losing 1 gold is an equivalent to 2 gold. That's how they value it. So this is 4 gold in a different way. The second stage is very simple, 6 points, and let me explain the first stage. There is also a flavor with the chains. 3 times per game you can build a chain that you do not have. So, for example, you can build Pantheon if you do not have Altar, or you can build Caravanserai for free if you do not have Marketplace. That's how it works. This wonder, this is a surprise, and this is kind of an announcement for the future. I was thinking how I want to approach this in the future, and my idea right now is that the base 7 wonders that I showed you before, they were playtested, they were consulted quite a lot, they've been in the making for like the last 2 years, honestly. I've spent so much time on them and I've spent so much effort and I'm so proud of them also. And I think there is no like glaring mistakes there. Some of them may be underpowered, some of them might be a little overpowered, but I think they fit within the base game quite okay. And this is what I would call the modern set in the Modern Wonders. And this is the legacy set. As you can see, Delphi is, you know, from the era before. And this is in the legacy set that I will maybe expand in the future with some of the other wonders from the community and stuff like that. These are maybe potentially less balanced. I will still try to make them as balanced as possible. Less playtested, but more emphasis on fun and crazy abilities. So that's how we are going to approach in the future. And the Delphi will be the first one in the Legacy series. So Modern series, you want to, you know, they will be updated with like balance patches once a year, I think, or sooner if we find something that is a glaring mistake. And Legacy is more for the fun, if people want more wonders, more stuff, more craziness, at a sacrifice of maybe a little bit of balance. But that's how we are going to approach it in the future. And there you have it, guys. I'm super excited to present it to you. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know which ones are your favorite, which one are your least favorite, what looks most powerful, what do you want to play the most, and all that good stuff. Please subscribe and like and comment and all that good stuff. Also, this helps me grow the channel. This was like my passion project for the last 2 years. I'm so glad to be able to have done all of this. I couldn't done it without Nathan Berry. He was a huge help. He, in the end, helped me with all the graphic design of the wonders, and he like, please, I want to see so many messages in the comments thanking him, because without him, I would be still stuck making the wonders in the graphic programs because I'm just not very good at it. And this was my kinda biggest problem when I was trying to do it, and he helped me with that. He's done an amazing work, and because of him and some of my designs, you can enjoy this set. I want to address one thing. A lot of people ask me, why don't you send it to repos? I actually did send it to repos in the earlier stages. They were initially interested, but they had to get an okay from the author of Seven Wonders, Antoine Bauza, and he said no without looking at the wonders. But I don't want to dwell too much on that, but this set probably won't be able to, to find it to the stores, so you have to print it out yourselves. I will tell you how to best do it. The way I do it. Where is it? Here. The way I do it is that I go to the print shop, I send them a file that you can find the link in the description, and I tell them to print them two-sided and then laminate it. And it costs me about €2 in Poland, where I live. I imagine in the western, more western than Poland, it probably costs some more. But, I think it's worth it, and hopefully you think so too. You cannot, by the way, this is totally free project. You cannot sell these ones. I cannot accept any kind of money for these ones. So it will be free forever as well. You have my guarantee on that. Done talking. I think this was enough words. I'm just very, very interested in your response to my wonders. Hopefully you like it, and see you in the next video. Bye.